Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another HP Gaming D&D Junior live junior session. I am here. We are here. We've got Ben waiting in the wings. We are getting ready to have a bit of fun tonight. We are knee deep in the Mines Wave Echo Cave for the Lost Mine of Phandelver. We are here to have some fun and let's make it happen. Here we go. Welcome back once again, one and all. For those of you out there in YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch land, thank you very much for joining us. My name is Matt, and I am here once again to DM for you with some crazy antics and critters. As always, with us this evening, the person whose idea it was and who started it all, will you please welcome our junior gamer, who is here to cause all sorts of trouble, as she usually does.
By slime.
Attacked by slime. Well, we'll see about that. And as always, in the wings, waiting to come on board and join us for the absolute chaos, will you please welcome Mr. Ben Wood?
Greetings all.
Indeed. How's your week been, sir? I know you haven't been like the rest of us. We are all feeling a bit under weather tonight. So this is
we have had a fun week where we've got that new version of the flu, plus we've got a bit of COVID in the house, just to throw some good measures in there. So we've had some fun times, but we're on the mend now, so we're all in good stead at the moment.
Look, just throw some monkeypox in there and just call it, the trifecta. Make it all happen. That'll be just some crazy antics. Well, look, hopefully over the weekend you get a chance to rest up and relax. And for a Friday night, hopefully you get a chance to have a bit of fun with us tonight. So it's going to be a bit of fun too. I will say too, ladies and gents, we have another sponsor for tonight's episode. Please give mad props and mad thanks to Griff & Co., who are suppliers of all things in personalized gifts, baby wear, and all sorts of other knick-knacky items as well. Check out their website, griffandco.com. They have some wonderful supplies and things there for you as well. Mad props and shouts. Looking after us as well. We really appreciate it. But after all that being said, speaking of looking after babies and things, I think it's time we play some D&D. Previously on HPG D&D Live Junior.
Having rescued their patron, Gundren Rockseeker, the adventurers made a brief stop in Phandelver at the Stonehill Inn to recover from their battles and lick their wounds before heading out to Wave Echo Cave. Travelling with haste, Gundren led them to an entrance of the mine that he and his brothers had excavated, and to Gundren's dismay, they discovered the body of Tharden Rockseeker dead for at least a week. Calming Gundren, the party set off into the mine proper, listening to a repeated booming sound coming from a far-off part of the mine system. Making their way through the twisting, dark caverns, they came to what they assumed to be the original entrance of the mine, and in the darkness, Nitro lit a torch, startling a group of winged sturges who descended from the ceiling and engaged the party. The group made short work of the beasts and continued their search, locating an old barracks and discovering some horrific humanoid beasts within, gnawing on rotting flesh and bone. Engaging the ghouls and defeating them reasonably quickly, the party travelled to the west into an excavation area of the mine with crumbling shafts and narrow passages on all sides. The maze-like system had many twists and turns, and in the confusion, Nitro and Gundren managed to get too far ahead of Yetnet and Crystal, her giant wolf spider, and the two groups were separated. While trying to find her way back to Nitro and Gundren, Yetnet has not noticed the malignant, oozing form that is tailing along behind her, gaining on her, and reaching out to ensnare the young Dragonborn.
And there we go. We are going to pick things up right there. We have our Dragonborn who is heading down a tunnel pursued by an unseen foe. What would you like to do?
Man, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, well,
besides from getting killed.
Besides from getting killed. Well, in this instance, the oozing force that is following up behind you is going to make a surprise attack because you don't know it's there. And what's your AC is 12? A 13 most definitely hits. So this thing is going to reach forward and it is going to give you 5 points of damage, 5 points of melee damage, along with... Where are we? Oh, sorry, 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 2 points of acid damage for a total
slap on the back of the head
of damage as well. I need you to roll initiative. Ben or Nitro, I will get you to roll initiative as well, please. I need you to roll initiative. So here...
But Nitro is not in combat with me.
Not yet, but he might try and come and save you.
Depends if I know what's going on and figure it out quickly enough.
That's it. So your initiative is there. All right, so it's +2. So you got a 3.
Hey, you tapped on the dice.
I did indeed. Nitro?
14.
14. Okay, this could be...
19 count?
No, it doesn't.
Aww.
Okay, so let's go back
I
to
got a
your
3.
skills. Okay, here we go. So you feel the blow from this thing and you hear Crystal sort of scream out as well. Actually, can you roll a d20 for Crystal's initiative as well, please? That's a 16. Fantastic. So you feel the oozing pressure squeeze around your dragonborn form and it turns you around to face this hulking, brooding, disgusting mass of brown ooze, like an ochre color that's seemingly blending in with the walls as it sort of oozes and lumbers its way towards you. As it turns you around after the attack, it goes to sort of, there's a tendril that sort of reaches out and tries again to attack you. We have a natural 20. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is going to end very badly. So we have... What hit points are you on?
26.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Did
so
I just
we
get
have...
20 damage?
No, you are going to take... You are taking 11 points of bludgeoning damage and 3 points of acid damage for a total of 14 points of damage before combat has even begun. OMG, this is getting intense. You're on 12 hit points. All right. The good news is that completes its turn and it is now Crystal's turn to attack. So Crystal is going to round on this thing and make an attack roll. So you make a roll a d20 for Crystal's attack and add 3.
9. 12.
12 points. That hits. So you roll for damage. So you roll a d8 and add 2. That's it. 6 points and then roll 1d4 for poison damage as well.
6.
1d4, I said.
Yeah. Oh.
That's it. The night could very well end the game premature. 4, good job. Okay, so, so it's 6 anyway after all that. So that's 12 points of damage, including 6 of acidic damage as well. And that brings us to, where are we? Nitro, that's you, mate. Go for it.
Okay, do I realize she's not behind me? Do I hear anything?
You would need to make a perception roll to see if you can acknowledge that she's not there.
4.
Yeah, you and Gundren keep on rolling, in just moving through, trying to make amends. Oh wow, Gundren rolled even worse than you did. So there you go. So in this instance, you are aware of your surroundings and you're sort of getting lost in the maze, but officially you aren't aware that she's not behind you. Does your Drake have a passive perception?
Where are we at? Drake companion.
Wow.
Passive perception of 12.
No, it's okay. Has a passive perception of 12?
Yes.
So your Drake all of a sudden flies off your shoulder, grabs you by the collar, and sort of pulls you to a stop. And it's the Drake who notices that Yetnet is not behind you, and Crystal as well. So you can. What I need you to do is make a survival check to make sure you are running in the correct direction. It's going to take you approximately 2 turns to get to where Yetnet is.
23.
Yeah, sure. So you begin to use some tracking to try and sort of pinpoint where, backtrack and trace your steps back around the bends. You're still weaving through the maze of caverns and things as well, but you do hear in the distance some yelps, and it's a sound of combat in the distance getting closer as you move through the cavern system. Gundren is with you, so he's traveling with you, which brings us to Yetnet. It is your turn to act.
Can I use my breath weapon?
Yes, you can use your breath weapon. Absolutely, you can use your breath weapon.
What type of damage is your breath weapon?
It's poison.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it will be effective in this instance.
Good.
So it's a con save of 10. Okay.
But I rolled a 7.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No, con save for the creature. So the creature's got to make a save. And the jelly has rolled another natural 20. Oh my god!
Damage, doesn't it?
So it takes on the save, it takes half damage. So you roll 2d6,
which means I roll up 2 times.
Yep.
6.
Oh, roll again.
And 3.
Okay, so 9 points of damage. So we round down or round up. I can never remember.
It's always in the favor of the player normally, so rounding it up.
Yeah. So in this case, it's 5 points of damage. Okay. So with all of that happening, it was poison damage, which brings us to the top of the round. Again, our friend is going to ooze its way along and try and land an attack. A 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is not going to hit because you're he wants to.
Audio stuttering going on there.
Say again, sorry?
Some audio stuttering going on there for some reason.
It might have been because we were both talking at the same time. How's that?
That's much better.
There we go. That's what happened.
I rolled a 17.
A 17 hits. Roll damage, which is 1d8 plus 2. That's this one here.
Plus 6.
8 points of poison damage. Fantastic. Okay. So with that, that brings us to you, Nitro. So I need you to make another survival roll to make sure you pick the right path.
Same as before. 2 19s in a row.
Okay, so you're able to move the rest of your movement, and you come around the corner, and as you do, you see this gelatinous, oozing mess that is moving slowly towards this dragonborn and her giant wolf spider. The giant wolf spider is engaged heavily trying to lash out at this creature. You're able to make your way behind it, and both yourself and Gundren will have an opportunity to make an attack before the next round of combat ends. So you can make an attack now if you'd like.
Yep, I'll pull the short sword and dagger out and have a go with some melee on this thing, if I can get close enough. Yep.
Go for it. You can get close enough, yep.
All right. What is... Oh, come on, you stupid computer. Thank you. That is an 18 to hit for the short sword.
That most definitely hits.
Now, I am going to sink my dragon's ability into this as well. 2, 7, 10. That's 10 points of damage for the short sword, including, 3 points of fire damage?
Yep. Now, the short sword, is that piercing or slashing damage?
It's slashing, I believe.
Okay, fantastic.
No, it is piercing, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. And any extra damage, bonus damage?
So that was that 10 in total, but 3 of that damage is fire damage.
Yep, fantastic.
Yep.
All right, any other bonus actions for you, sir?
I'm going to hit it with a dagger.
Yep. So you can certainly try.
15 to hit.
That definitely hits.
So that's a D4 with nothing else, so that's fine. Hey, 4.
That's what you want.
I'll take that.
That's it.
I'm going to get my dragon to do a bit of omnomening on it.
Yes, okay, fantastic. Be aware your dragon would probably potentially have to make a con save when it goes to attack and bite and then potentially ingest some of this thing.
I don't know what it is. My dragon's going to go om nom nom.
Doesn't matter. Your dragon's put in harm's way. That's fine. Okay, fantastic.
Exactly.
So, with that happening, that brings us to Gundren's turn. He is going to make an attack with his short sword. Gundren rolls a 19. Fantastic. Good job, buddy. He's actually.
Good job, you.
And Gundren is ready to bring it to the game finally, and he rolls an 8 points of damage. So that's going to be 8 points of piercing with his short sword as well. And that is going to be, there we go, fantastic. Yetnet, you are up.
Okay, so can I try doing my breath weapon again?
You cannot, because you only get to use it once per short rest,
Okay.
and you have used it so far. So what would you like to do?
Oh my, we just got through.
That's okay.
Can I don't know if I can do this, but can I try, like, I know it's goo, but can I try to bash it with my morning star?
You can try and hit it with whatever you like. Go for it. Go on.
Okay.
So your morning star, you roll your d20 and you add 6 to the roll.
12.
That hits. Roll your damage.
Okay.
So 1d8 plus 4. This one here, yeah. No, this one you had it right the first time. Roll it. Plus 4. 4 and 8.
Is 8.
I have a very important question for you, Yetnet. Are you trying to kill or to wound?
Kill!
Fantastic. So
I
as
know,
you...
I thought you were going to say, how do you want to do this?
No, that's not my phrase. I can't use that. That's fine. So as I realized too, your Drake missed its turn in action, Nitro, but I sort of wanted to give this one to someone who wanted to do a bit of damage to it. So you see this Dragonborn leap up into the air with a Morning Star, and it comes crashing down, squashing the jelly into a pile of goo, and it seems to lose its sentient nature, just collapses into a puddle on the floor, spreading out all over the stone walkway, and slowly dissipating and bubbling and just willowing away, almost liquefying itself out of existence, which brings you out of combat.
I'll run up to Yetnet. Yetnet, you okay?
Yeah. But I'm a little bit tired.
Bit tired.
Yeah.
Let's try one of
That
these.
thing kind of did attack me, so yeah.
I could, saw that. Here's a potion of healing that we picked up from the place. Have you got some, or?
She does have one potion of healing, yes. So you can use your potion of healing. There you go.
Okay.
This one we prepared earlier.
And I'll cast Cure Wounds on her as well.
Yep, sure. All right. Roll them.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5 points of healing for the potion.
And 8 from my spell.
And then you add another 8 from Nitro and say thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Well,
that looks a bit more
back up to 25.
susceptible. Okay. So with that in mind, and the jelly well and truly dispatched, that puts you still within that maze of excavations and failed excavations. So where would you like to go? You were sort of trying to head north originally to hear that, because in the distance now, you can hear that boom just repeated ad nauseum from somewhere in the distance at the far end of this cave system. Are you still trying to locate that sound?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, you can head north. I will bring the map up for you once more so you can see where we're headed. You are in the cave system, just is on the western side of the map, just north of the entrance where you entered. You can see there is a passageway that leads to the north. You can hear some running water. There is also another passageway that leads to a more central part of the complex. Either way is up to you, whichever way you want to go. You just have to decide amongst yourselves which is the way to go.
I want to go where the booming sound is coming from.
Well, from where you are, the boom sounds like it's coming from more towards the central part of the complex rather than the pathway that leads to the northwest.
So we go to that way.
So you head northeast from where you are? into the central part of the cavern
Is
system.
that the way where the boomings come from?
You can hear it stronger from the central part of the cave system, yes.
So we're heading in that direction.
Yep, head in that direction. Okay, fantastic. So you make your way forward and you travel through, and there's a small flight of stairs that lead up to, you can see a ledge that opens out onto a larger area. There's a steep escarpment that sort of divides the area into an upper and lower section. There's high ledges at either end, lower section in the middle. There is a carved set of stone stairs that climb to all the different ledges. Large tables stand up in the middle section, along with a pair of old braziers that have long since been extinguished. A smaller table stands on the eastern ledge, and there are plenty of skeletal remains over dozens of sort of dead warriors, dwarves, gnomes, orcs, and even the odd ogre corpse that attest to quite a fierce battle that took place here a long time ago.
Okay. Have a bit of a look around and see what, apart from that, is there any details that I can see, like something we've missed that may be important? Is there things clinging to the ceiling? Is there traps?
No, there is not. But you do see movement in the lower section of this particular chamber. So it's a fair way away. It's probably about 40 feet away, and the light in here is not fantastic. So you do see movement from the lower section of this system.
Can I investigate the lower part and see if I can see what these creatures are?
So do you want to roll investigation, or do you want to make your way down there and just walk in?
I want to make investigation.
All right, so roll investigation for me, which is your D20 plus 2.
15, 16, 17.
17, fantastic. Okay, so you make your way, it does work. You make your way to the ledge, and you peer down into the lower section, clear of the stairs, and you're effectively standing on the edge of the escarpment looking down, and you can see some familiar adversaries that are moving around amongst the corpses, trying to pick up an enemy, making a way around, trying to collect whatever things they can find to chomp on. You recognize these individuals as 3 more of those ghoulish creatures that were gnawing on corpses in the other room. I need you to make a stealth roll for me to make sure that you aren't found. Stealth is one of your strong pursuits. Nitro?
It is 20 in total, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, fantastic.
12?
What's your stealth? Plus 2 is 14. Okay, so while you are up on the ledge, Yetnet, you are looking down and you sort of slowly, very carefully back away. Nitro, you see Yetnet back away from the ledge and realize something is not quite right. The ghouls that are hunting through all the corpses don't seem to notice you at this point. What would you like to do?
I would whisper to Yetnet and say, do we want to try and take these things out quickly, or do we want to go around and see if we can go through another path?
Well, if we are really stealthy, we could give them a surprise attack.
We could. It would give us an attack before they turn around and try and bite us. But do we want to go into combat, or do we want to try and avoid combat?
I don't really know. If we had ghoul costumes, it would be easy to get through them.
Well, it might be, absolutely. Unfortunately, I can't disguise myself that well.
Well, maybe if we kill these guys and then we can get their costume.
Wow.
So what, we just take their skin and wear it? Like, that's a very ghoulish thing to do.
It's Leatherface. I love it.
Well, if we had a smoke jetpack and then some a skull painting face, we could look like ghouls. What?
A jetpack. I love it. I love your imagination. That's fantastic. What would you like to do? Do you want to try and skirt the issue and make your way around the other way, or do you want to try and make your way past them? Surprise attack.
Okay. So do you want me to launch an arrow at these things and try and take them out before they get within range? Or are you going to set up and get ready to attack them by surprise?
Well, maybe you could point your arrow at the ceiling and maybe try to bring a rock down on them.
What does the ceiling look like?
The ceiling is about 20 feet above you, and it's a collection of stalagmites, stalactites. There is some heavy rock. You can see there's a few pillars that are suspended from the ceiling in terms of these pointy objects. They look quite dense.
Wait, how many of them?
There's about 3 or 4, but they're strewn all over the cavern. They're not just localized to the middle area.
Okay. Looks like if there's 4, we'll go 2 on 1 or something, or we'll go 2 on 2.
There's 3.
Oh, okay, there's 3.
So I can try and trap one of them. I could use my ensnaring strike and try and, root it in place.
Yes, but what if the other ghouls try to eat the rock?
Well, just a point of order, metagaming here. You have a giant wolf spider as a companion who also has a web ability, which can ensnare some folk.
Yep.
Let's do a surprise attack. Oh, and you shoot the ceiling.
You want me to shoot the ceiling? Okay.
Yes. Oh, but try to make your arrow do stealthy.
The arrow has to make a stealth check.
I've never had that before. I'll try my best.
I think it'll be fun. All right, so what's happening first then? Are you making your arrow attack at the ceiling, trying to bring rocks down first, or is...
he's first, and then if they hear the noise and turn around, I'm going to say crystal web attack, and then she's just going to throw webs across the room.
That'll pretty much bring us to combat, depending on what the outcome is. So, Nitro, if you want to do your thing, have a crack at it, see what happens.
Sure.
Roll well.
I'll call the shot. I want to try and find if I can see it from this distance. If there's a crack or something in one of the stalactites that are hanging on from the ceiling. And
make an investigation check with disadvantage because of the range.
Okay, that may end up badly. Not too badly, actually. What's that going to be? Investigation. 12.
Okay, so you see some stalactites that are almost located directly above. You can't tell if they're exactly above where these ghouls are lurking, because obviously they are moving, but you don't see any sort of weak spots as such. That you can't really tell anything from where you are.
I'll look back at Yetnet and say, I'll give it a shot.
Literally.
Exactly. I'm going to call it, though. I want to see if
Crystal's standing up like this.
Crystal's at the ready. I like that.
I want to try and cause as much damage as I can to one of these stalagmites and hope stalactites, I should say.
If it lands in the middle and then just blows them all out, that's good.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens. I don't know if you can see that from here.
No way.
20!
No way. This is going to be another one of those sessions where we roll 45 critical.
It happens only when I need it. All right.
Time that you needed it, let's be honest.
Exactly. So this is a 1d8.
Maybe.
11. So 11 on the damage, but that's doubled, right? To 22.
Yes, correct.
32 points of damage.
Okay, so you, for some reason, unbeknownst to you, call it blind luck, call it a blessing from the Shrine of Luck in Phandelver, who knows. You loose the arrow, and as soon as it leaves your fingers, you feel a sense of purpose, like you are just determined that this is going to work. The arrow flies through the air above your heads, and you see it lodge, bang, into a stalactite, almost right central in the cavern. And it lodges, and nothing happens. There's just a big thunk as it sticks in. The ghouls don't even seem to notice. Then, after a moment of silence, you hear and there's a beginning of a rumble coming from the ceiling as the stalactite starts to break free. You can see it start to crumble. Little chunks of rock start to fall down. The ghouls get hit in the head with some of these little rocks that fall, and some of them glance up. One who happens to be directly underneath it looks up, munching on flesh and bone and all sorts of other disgusting things, as there is a massive as the stalactite breaks free and collapses and plummets the 20 feet straight down. And we have, oh dear, oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so as this thing comes down, the ghoul that is standing directly underneath it has absolutely no hope. It literally comes down and you just see this big crash and a squelch. The other two ghouls that are in close proximity try to scuffle out of the way, but because they've got a slow speed, they literally dive too slow, and they collect debris from the collapsing stalactite flies off in each direction. They are going to take... They both take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. And the other one who was underneath it is just a puddle on the floor. But I do need you all to roll initiative, please.
11 for me.
Yep.
20.
20 for Yetnet. Can you roll for Crystal? And can you roll for Drake as well, please?
He goes on the same turn as me.
Same as you, sorry, yes.
Crystal got a
Makes it
13.
easy.
And Crystal got a 13. Okay, Yetnet, you are first to act with Crystal on deck.
Can I use my great axe, or do I don't have
You
it?
would have to make your way down the escarpment and make an athletics check to make sure you do
Wait,
it safely.
could I jump down and then use my great axe?
You can jump down, but again, it's going to be an acrobatics check to make sure you can make it.
But she has her boots on.
Actually, that's true. You do
Yeah,
have
I
your
do.
magical boots on, so you'll be able to make the jump, no problem. So consider it your standard movement to make your way down there, and you can roll a straight attack with your great axe. Of course, you can go for it. Good luck.
Oh, this is to hit.
This is for you.
No, this is to
Hit.
hit.
Yeah, to hit. That's right.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That hits.
Wow.
So make your attack.
1d12 plus
1d12 plus 4. Yep. Roll well.
2.
6 points of damage. So you leap down using your incredible boots of flight. You leap down into the cavern below, and as you land, you bring your great axe forward and you slice through one of the ghouls that is on display, still standing, reeling a little bit from the collapsing stalactite, and you slice through one of its arms clean off. It's now got one arm on the floor and another arm in its mouth that it's chewing on with its other arm, and it sees the arm on the floor that it's just lost. You see it drop and spit out the arm that it's chewing on, which is mostly bone. Using its free hand, it picks up its arm that it's just had cut off and takes a chunk out of that, and it starts to ingest its own flesh, which is quite disgusting and horrible. That brings us to Crystal. What is Crystal going to do?
She's going to use her web attack because she didn't get to do
She's going to try and ensnare them? Yeah, okay.
it.
So you don't need to roll for that. The web attack is a
I'm
dex
just saying she
save.
got a 15, but that's hits.
Which ghoul are you attacking? The one that's just lost its arm or the other one?
The one that I just attacked. The one.
Okay.
Let's call him Armless.
He sounds pretty harmless, doesn't he? He actually saves. He manages to get ensnared by the web, but doesn't tie him down and doesn't immobilize him completely.
I'm just saying it was on the head.
It's okay. He will, however, have to make
Web check?
he'll be attacking with disadvantage on his next turn
Hey,
because of the webbing
You
that
could
is
just call
ensnaring
it a web
him.
check.
A web check, that's fine. Fantastic. Nitro, you're up with your Drake. Go for it.
Cool. The one that's furthest away, I would like to attack it with my next arrow that I'll be calling the shot again because I love this extra 10 damage.
It's a nice little boon. I like it.
18 to hit.
That is definitely going to do it. Go for it.
Sweet. Do that. 6, 7, 8, 9. 19 points of damage.
Wow. The arrow, where are you hitting this, the ghoul with the arrow?
Let's say the chest.
Bang. Okay. So as the arrow, it's sort of, these things haven't been eating as well as they would like. So they are a bit sinewy and a bit malnourished, a bit greeny. Their skin's quite pale and almost translucent. The arrow is loose through, and because of the damage from the rock fall, you see it pierce the skin of this ghoul, and it goes right through like a through and through, actually taking the ghoul with it, and it knocks the ghoul back against a stone part on the other side of the chamber. The arrow passing through entirely, leaving a physical hole that you could peer through if you could get close enough and see the other side. The ghoul sort of looks bewildered for a moment before it slumps forward and collapses onto the ground and then lies still. And that's going to bring us to Drake.
The Drake is going to just chill tight with me.
Yep, cool. Fantastic. And then that's going to bring us around to our armless friend. Who's going to try and make an attack.
Gundren?
Gundren, yes, Gundren does need to attack. He's up with Nitro. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it unless he
Did you roll for him?
dashes. No, he's going to be up. He's up with Nitro, so he's going to have to make his way down. He's not on that roll. He's not going to make it. He'll get close, so he's going to be close to you, but he's still going to be about 10 feet away from.
Oh no, I'm on the bottom floor.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
But no, Gundren's going to have to come downstairs to get to you. He'll still be about 10 feet away from our armless friend. Our armless friend is going to roll an attack against Yetnet with disadvantage. Both of those are absolutely terrible. So while 4 and 7, so while he's chewing on his flesh from his own arm, he's going to try and almost lumber towards you, but he can't get away. He's still tied up with that webbing, which brings us to the top of the round. Yetnet, it is your turn.
Time to chop his head off with a great axe. Oh yeah.
That's a top 40 hit if ever I heard one. Go for it.
Oh, that is 8 plus 6.
8 plus 6 is?
14.
8 plus 6 is 14.
Yes.
Yep. That hits. Roll for damage.
1d12.
1d12. Yep. Plus 4.
5 plus 4.
9 points of damage. So what is it you wanted to do?
I wanted to cut his head off.
So you step forward and you
I'm just like
grimace to yourself as you pick your great axe up in both hands, and you do this almost ballet spin pirouette with your axe, and the head just literally flies off, heads straight into the stratosphere and lands with an audible,
like a golf ball.
like a golf swing, yeah, almost, with an audible squish as it hits the ground. And that's the last of these ghouls. They have all been taken out. Now that the dust has proverbially settled, considering the fact that the rock formations are falling from the ceiling, you can see a little bit more about this cavern system. You see there is a staircase that leads directly north of your position, along with a passageway that leads to the east as well. On the map, you can see here in that central cavern with that lower section, you can see there's a staircase that leads north, and you can see there's a staircase that leads to the east with a pathway going north and south.
You said the booming was coming from the middle section.
I said it sounded like it was coming from the middle section, but you could hear it from the other way as well. Where you are now, you can still hear it. It is much louder, but it does still sound like it's coming from somewhere deeper within the cave system.
So maybe it's like underneath us?
It doesn't feel like it's coming underneath you. At this point, now that you're further in, you can actually sort of physically feel boom, and you can feel a little tremor. It's only subtle. It's only a subtle tremor, but you do feel it. And if you're standing where you are in that middle section of the chamber, you can hear the noise coming from the north and from the northeast. So it's definitely in that sort of direction, in that sort of vicinity. Whether it's the northeast is where you need to go or where the sound's coming from, we're not entirely sure.
Do we want to head up north? Yetnet? In the northerly direction, and then we can, scooch up to the east a bit more if we need to.
But what if they both lead to the same place, and then we come back around, and then we end up back here again?
We're no worse off. We just start again, pick another direction.
Okay, we'll go that way.
Sure. So you're heading north?
Yes, we're heading north.
Yeah, okay. Going north. All right, so you make your way up the stairs at the far end. You can see a doorway to the west that looks like it leads somewhere. And you can also see an open passageway that leads to a darker chamber to the east as well. What would you like to do?
What do you reckon, Yetnet?
Chamber?
The open chamber?
Head to the east?
No one likes what's potentially behind a closed door. I mean, look at your guys' run of luck so far.
Wait, is the booming coming from that way or that way?
From where you're standing, the boom sounds like it's coming from the east direction.
Head east then, if you want to head to that sound.
All right, so you head towards...
Stealth.
You want to make your way in stealth? Yep, roll for stealth. Go for it. That is a good idea.
I'm not arguing. With a 25, I won't argue either.
Plus your stealth modifier. 15. Okay, good. All right, so you make your way through into the cavern system, and you can see what appears to be some sort of large apparatus, mechanical in nature, right smack in the middle of this room. It seems like there's a water wheel that seems to power this mechanism, and it dominates the space. It's huge. In this large chamber, it's quite expansive. It looks to be something that resembles a furnace, for lack of a better term, something to do with fire. It's cold and dark and obviously hasn't been used in some time, but there are heaps of coal piled nearby, along with carts full of what you can discern is some unrefined ore. The water wheel sits on a 10-foot wide channel that's cut into the floor of the room, but the channel runs dry. Passages exit to the west, to the south, and to the east. The empty channel exits to the north and to the east, so you could actually, if you wanted to, get down into the channel and make your way through those passageways. More than a dozen withered corpses are scattered around the room. These look like they're slain dwarves and orcs, and a lot of them are still wearing remnants of their armor. Floating above them, above the corpses, is a skull engulfed in a green flame.
Can we see what it looks like?
You can see what it looks like. Here's one I prepared earlier. That's nice and pleasant, isn't it?
Mm.
So that's floating around above what's going on here.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
It
you want
doesn't
to
look
talk to the
friendly.
skull?
It doesn't look like it needs someone to talk to.
Well, you are currently successful on your stealth roll, so it doesn't know that you're there.
I whisper to Yetnet, do we want to talk to this thing or go around?
Around.
You want to try and go around?
Okay.
Can we destroy the water wheel?
Destroy it.
Destroy the water wheel.
Yeah, because I think that's what making the water sound.
No, you can still hear that noise, and it's not coming from this space. It's still from where you are. It sounds like it's coming more to the northeast.
I wouldn't destroy that water wheel
Why?
because it looks like that's connected to that, which is like a heat source or something that might be for this forge that we're supposed to be here for.
If I may be so bold as to interject here, I know I've been rather quiet, but if I can weigh in as the person who is up to date with all of his excavation ailments and knowledge of equipment and other bits like that, I can tell you this is indeed some sort of furnace that was used by those who were part of the Phandelver Pact, and they would have potentially used this to use it as a smelter for making all sorts of weapons and other things as well. In order to make it work, it needs to have water running through that channel, but for obvious reasons, that seems to have dried up. Maybe it's worth be investigating once we've cleared the room of that, green beastie up there, perhaps.
Did you and your brother see this thing?
No. My brothers and I have not made our way this far deep into the cavern system. Theodrin is obviously lying back at the entrance, and I don't know where Nundro is, but I'm assuming he's been taken deeper into the mine somewhere.
Probably.
I'm glad you're so quick to agree.
So, Yetnet,
Yeah.
I'll ask the same question again. Do you want to potentially clear this room and get rid of this skull, or do you want to go around it and deal with it later?
I have an idea. You distract him, I'll get him from behind. What?
Well, how would you like me to distract it? I mean, I could do a dance, I could talk to it, I could shoot it.
Do a funny dance like.
I mean, I could, or I could talk to it, I suppose.
You could, like.
Right, well, let's okay.
Alright, let's do this.
So you're going to try and get behind it, and I'm going to go the other direction and attempt to talk to it.
Yes. Do I have to make a stealth check?
Yes, you do.
I don't.
No, you do not.
The
You
one
can
person that should is not
you can make a performance check for me if you like.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, Nitro, make a performance check.
11.
Good luck. 11. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Flame Skull had to make a perception check to see if it was able to catch Yetnet sneaking around with a 7. And the roll, I don't know if you can see it there, is, my friend, a natural 1. A natural 1, which means that your performance check, if you can describe that for us, Nitro, captures this thing's attention in full. Can you please give us a rundown of your performance?
I will take a run up to start with. I'll do the whole guitarist on the middle of the stage, on the knees, sliding along. And then I'll
Very
pop up and
Stranger
say,
Things. I like it. Yeah, fantastic.
hello, Green Fire Skull God. What are you doing today?
The response from the green flame skull as it turns to witness you do a power slide, an epic power slide, it looks you over, and then without even hesitating, you can hear, and it flies towards you in epic, spectacular fashion. You have a surprise attack, but I need you both to roll initiative, please. Wow.
Your dance is too.
You're going to get me killed.
Gundren just rolled a 20, a natural 20 for initiative. 8. Nitro?
17.
17.
The 8 was for Crystal.
The 8 was for Crystal. Sure.
17
plus 2 is 19 for you. Okay, and then Crystal is an 8. Oh my gosh, and the
What?
Flame Skull rolled another natural 1. That's 2 in a row. That's terrible. Okay, you will get a surprise attack while it's trying to get its attention.
I want to bash its head with my great axe.
Go for it. By all means, do so. If you can. 10 to hit?
Yes.
No good. So you manage to sail through the air. You jump up in spectacular fashion, trying to bring your great axe down.
I've also had my jump boots just saying.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I know you've got those on, but unfortunately, to no avail in this case. You manage to dart to one side as you bring your axe down. Top of the round, though, Gundren is going to try and weigh in and get a hold of this thing. He's going to try and have to jump in the air to reach this thing as it's flying towards both yourself, Nitro, and Gundren. And unfortunately, on a 5, he's not able to get high enough to swing as it happens, which brings us to Yetnet with a 19.
Yetnet.
Didn't you roll a 19? Yeah. You
You
rolled an 8 and then said, "Oh no, that's for Crystal."
Smart.
I would have too.
12. 12 plus 6
That's a hit. Roll your damage.
That's a
Is it-
16, right?
Was it a great axe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you roll your D12, and then add 4.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Bang. So this time you use your boots to get that extra bit of height. You manage to reach forward. You swing your great axe tried and true, smashing this thing. You don't catch it on the blade, though. You catch it slightly on the flat. The flame skull smashes across the room and tumbles down onto the dirt on the floor of the cavern where the corpses of the dwarves and things are as well. And it accidentally rolls through and smacks into one of the corpses before igniting in green flame and taking flight once again. But as that happens, the corpse that it's hit begins to shimmer and shake and slowly start to rise, and then other corpses begin to do so as well, as some dwarven zombies and orc zombies begin to make their presence known and rise from the cavern floor. They are still making their way up from the cavern floor, so it's going to take them a turn to prepare, but be warned, they are around and they are going to come for you as well. That's going to bring us to you, Nitro.
Well, how many of these corpses are coming up? Can I see how many?
There are 3.
3? Okay. All right, well, I'm going to shoot at this green skull first.
Go for it.
Let's call the shot. Here's the point.
Yep.
There it is.
Hey, go with it. If it's working for you so far, keep it going.
Why not? 18 to hit.
That definitely hits. Go for it.
Good. I like this. I'm going to kick in. My dragon's going to go with a puff of flame as the arrow travels through as well. So 22 points of damage for that one.
22 points of damage. Is that including flame damage?
It is.
You need to halve the flame damage.
So 3 down to 2 or 1?
Down to 2 in this case, yes.
Yep.
Sorry, that's 20, 22, 21.
19, 21.
21. Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Yeah,
so you call the shot. Your Drake get out of fire, flies through. The green flames around this thing flash orange for a few moments as it starts to ignite in flames. But after a short moment, the orange is almost absorbed by the green fire surrounding the flame skull as it's flapping around, flying around through the air. And it's making its way around, trying desperately to find a target to attack. It does seem to be flying, gliding on a slight angle, almost like it's a bit woozy, like it's had a bit too much to drink. And you take note of this as you make your way forward. Crystal is now ready to attack. What would you like her to do?
Web shot.
Web shot at
Yeah.
the flame skull?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
That's what I'm calling it from now on, web shot.
No, with that one you don't have to roll because
Okay.
it's a dex save on the other one,
Okay.
but you will need to roll 1d6 damage because it's a failed save for the flame skull. So there you go.
Okay.
3 points of damage, and the flame skull is now enwrapped in webs and is stuck in the one spot. You see it drop from the sky, land on the ground of the cold cavern floor. It is now ensnared and won't be able to move until it breaks free or someone else sets it free. Which now brings us to its turn. It is going to try and break free of the webbing. And with a 14, it is going to wriggle and squeeze its way out from the webbing and is actually able to tear enough of a hole to try and break free. It's going to take flight once more. The zombies are going to start to activate. And then we have an 18, a 12, and a 4. That brings us to the top of the round with Gundren trying to make his way forward. He's going to make an attack and rolls a 22 to hit. He makes his way over to one of the zombies and he tries to swing hard and true. You need to stay dead, you bastard. And he rolls and does 4 damage to one of our zombie friends here.
Nice.
It's only 4 bits of damage, but hey, at least he's holding his own from this point forward. So
Completely agree.
there we go. He wasn't so much help last session.
Well, he's making up for it this time.
He is indeed. That brings us to Yetnet. Nitro, you're on deck with a zombie to go in between the two of you. What would you like to do?
Can I yell out to Nitro and call me a snake? Because I really want to go into rage.
You can indeed. Yetnet calls out across the chasm, Nitro, insult me.
You're nothing but a gecko. Go climb the walls if you can.
No!
Yetnet, inspired by your absolute belittling of her person, goes into a crazy rage and is ready to, and is now enraged for the next 10 minutes. What would you like to do?
Punch the zombies.
Okay, so you make your way in and go for the zombies. Go for it.
Okay.
So you get it. So you get +2 melee damage. You roll advantage on your attack. So pick a zombie that's whichever one. You've got 2 that haven't been damaged, and you've got 1 that's been damaged by Gundren.
One that's been damaged by Gundren.
Roll your attack with advantage.
3.
With advantage. So roll again.
Okay. 17.
That definitely hits. Roll damage. What were you doing? What we were attacking with, by the way?
1 hand axe.
1 hand axe.
Because I lost the other one.
You did lose the other one. So do you want that one or do you want the great axe?
Great axe.
All right. So roll a d12 because that's what I thought you meant. That's this one here.
I keep forgetting.
Add 4. Oh my gosh, 14 points of damage +2 because of your rage is 16 points of damage. Wow. Okay. So you come forward and you yell out, "Rah!" You're screaming with an absolutely crazy rage. Gundren hears you and just darts out of the way. He's like, I'm just out of here. As you run forward with your great axe and just smack this zombie upside the head, you feel the axe lodge in the zombie's neck and the head goes to move, but doesn't quite come free. The zombie sort of stumbles a little bit. You yank your axe back out and it turns to you and still keeps coming. It's coming a lot slower and looking very worse for wear, but it is still standing. And that brings us to the zombie's turn. He is going to make an attack with a 3 to hit, which is a 14. That is enough to hit you, Yetnet. But it's a glancing blow because it's all out of whack with its head going.
Oh, and
wobbling.
it's higher than me. It's 2 feet high.
You take 3 points of damage.
Hey, you said it was a glancing blow, mister.
Well, I could have made it 7 points of damage. Take the 3 and call it a day. It's not like 15 like we had before.
I love
Wow.
the Mister part.
Exactly
Okay,
right.
like,
Shocking. That brings us to you, Nitro. You're up with Crystal on deck.
Let's have a bit of a shot at that green skull again.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, call the shot again. That is, well, we can re-roll ones because we're a halfling.
I'm surprised how many times you had to do that. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, I think it's great. Dirty 20 to hit.
That definitely hits, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20 points of damage.
20 points of damage is more than enough, my friend. Your arrow flies straight and true, catches it through an eye socket of the skull, and you just see a green explosion as the thing disintegrates into lots of different particles. You get a sense that even though it has destroyed and exploded into all these microparticles, you get a sense that it should have just exploded and or at least stopped and just shattered to the floor. It's disappeared completely. There's no corpse that you can see at all. But for all intents and purposes, it's no longer on the battlefield. That's for sure.
Like it was a ghost.
Maybe, who knows?
Can my Drake reach one of the ghouls that are hanging? Oh, ghouls, the zombies that are hanging around.
Yes, the one that was closest to Gundren, along with the other one. They're all where you are up on your raised platform where you were doing your air guitar solo. They are all within 30 feet of you.
Yes, wait. So the little Drake's got 40 foot of movement, so he can reach any of them.
You're good.
Do
you want to take on which one? There's one that's quite heavily damaged, obviously, with its head pretty much severed. There's 2 that are unscathed at this point.
I'll go with one of the ones that haven't been touched.
Yep.
So, well, it's a 19 on the dice, so I'm assuming it hits. Plus,
well and truly.
Yeah, cool. That's fine. What's that? A 1d6.
Yeah.
4, 5, 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage at this thing as it comes shambling towards you. This Drake flies out Blaze, I should say, flies out from your shoulder on his little perch and makes his way forward, scratching and attacking at this zombie, tearing away lumps of flesh from this shambling corpse as it tries to make its way towards you. You can see it's quite a bit of a hit, but the zombie is still making its way towards you with no signs of stopping. What is Crystal going to do?
Web shot.
Web shot again. So it's a dex save. You don't need to roll for damage unless it fails to save. The zombie does not fail to save. The zombie is attacked. You get to roll a 1d4 for me.
1d4, which is this one. These are really hard to roll because they're
That's
triangles.
right. Just for a couple of points of damage for it. It's 2 points of damage for our friend here. All right. That's going to bring us to Zombie Town. So they are going to make their way up. The friend that's attacking you rolls and has a +3 to hit. 13 is enough to hit.
Only just.
So this is our friend who's got his head pretty much missing. He is going to do three points of bludgeoning damage once more.
Halved raging.
Sorry, it is halved raging. So make it 1 point.
Yes.
So add two.
I help.
Because you're raging. We've got a friend who's going to attack as one of the zombies is coming forward. He's trying to make an attack at your Drake. So Blaze is going to be attacked and an 11, I'm assuming.
16 armor class.
No, not even close. So that's going to miss. And then the final zombie who is going to make an attack against Gundren, shamble his way over to Gundren with a 22 is going to definitely hit. And we've got 1d6, 5 points of damage against Gundren. Okay, and that is going to... Gundren takes the hit and manages to duck out of the way to avoid most of the blow of the full weight of the zombie as he approaches. But it does leave a bit of a stinging sensation, a stinging mark against your dwarf compatriot. But that brings us to the top of the round. Gundren has the right of reply. He's going to attack this guy back, and he is going to make an attack A 12 is enough. So Gundren is going to land a blow. 7 points of damage on this man who has just shambled over and made an attack. So that's fantastic. Yetnet, you're up. With a zombie on deck and then Nitro.
Great axe.
Great axe. You're raging, so roll advantage. And again.
19 and 3.
Doesn't matter. It definitely hits. Roll your damage.
1d12.
Yeah, and then add 2 to the roll.
Plus 4.
Yep,
And then
that's correct.
2.
So
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
14 points of damage. Now, which one were you attacking? The one that's got his head missing or the other one?
Head missing.
Okay, fantastic. That is well and truly overkill. You finish the job. The great axe swings true. The head lops off. Boom, rolls across the floor. And one of those zombies is down.
You're welcome.
Incidentally, that was the one that was taking place in between Yetnet and Nitro, which now means it's Nitro's turn to act.
You're welcome.
Nice. If I've got nothing around me, I'll step a little bit closer towards my Drake and shoot the one that my Drake's attacking.
Go for it.
Okay, we have a reroll. That's better. That's 17 to hit.
Yeah, well and truly hits, yep.
Okay, we have 6, 8, 9, 19 points of damage.
Whoa, 19 points of damage. So you call the shot effectively and loose an arrow, this thing that's technically trying to attack Blaze, and you follow the arrow through. Blaze almost senses the arrow is en route and detaches and steps back, disengaging from the zombie. And just as the zombie goes to make an attack of opportunity and swing against Blaze, the arrow whoosh, flies through, knocking its head back and up, and you just see a split across the neck from the force of the arrow as it stumbles backwards, falls back to the floor, and does not get back up, my friend. That is fantastic.
How many of these?
There is one zombie left, and that brings us to Crystal's turn, unless your Drake wants to make an attack.
Come back to me, that's all.
Yep, sure. Crystal is up, and she is ready to go over there and cause some trouble, so you can get her to make an attack if you want. Ensnare or
Web shot.
Okay, so you don't need to roll just yet. Hold on.
It rolled off.
The zombie rolls an 18 and saves. So roll a d4 for a bit of crazy damage. Just a d4. The triangle. 1 point of damage for this guy here. That's okay. Every little bit helps. Every
big bit does.
And that brings us to the zombie's turn. He's going to shuffle forward, and he sees Crystal running forward, and he actually starts to lumber forward. And he's actually going after your giant wolf spider.
Oh, okay.
Zombies are not intelligent.
Run faster.
It doesn't matter. Crystal has quite a bit of speed behind her, and a zombie with a roll of a natural 2 is not going to land a blow, which brings us to the top of the round. Gundren, who is now separated from the zombie that was doing damage to him, is going to make an attack against the last remaining zombie, and a roll of 21 will most definitely hit. Gundren is on fire today.
20.
And he gets 4 points of damage at our friend here, which brings us to Yetnet with Nitro on deck.
I'm going to do my great axe.
Go for
it. 7 plus 6, but I get to
roll again. 25.
19 plus
25 most definitely hits.
1d12.
Yep, that's it.
6.
Plus 4. Yeah, that's it. Plus 6. Good job. Oh my gosh. What is your total?
18.
18 points of damage.
Nice.
Yetnet charges forward, bellowing in absolute despair. Get away from my spider, as she leaps through the air in spectacular fashion.
I actually say, get away from my baby.
Get away from my baby. Okay, that's fine. The world slows down as Nitro, you watch this dragonborn gracefully leap through the air, guided by those epic shoes. And as it happens, she brings the great axe over her head in spectacular barbarian fashion. You just see the blade. And you see the zombie stand for a moment before he literally just part in two, right down the middle, falls into even parts, splattering across the floor. The zombies and the flame skull are no more.
You can thank me.
You can thank me later. That's fantastic.
Okay, now I'm coming down.
No, don't come down. Save your rage. You might need it. Who knows? Who knows?
No, otherwise I'll just run off through the caverns.
So now that the battle has subsided, you can take a further look at this furnace and the material here. It doesn't look like it's been fired up in some time, but as Gundren explains, it appears it's some sort of smelter where they would have melted ore to make weapons, to potentially imbue them with special powers in another part of the cavern system. So, as Gundren explains, this is where they brought all the materials they'd mined for precious metals and things to make all sorts of swords and weapons and crossbow bolts. And then the wizards here, as I understand it, would have imbued them with some sort of magical properties in the forge of spells, which is located somewhere else in the mine. That must be what that spider fellow is after.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay, so I'm gonna 1 second.
Can I have a look at that skull? Oh no, you said it disappeared. Never mind.
It is not there. You're right.
Can I make an investigation check if I can still, if like the bush is getting louder?
You don't need to make an investigation check for that. You don't even need to roll for it. From where you are, this noise is much louder than it was when you were at the opening of the cave system when you first came in.
We're getting closer.
Can I make an investigation check on the bones and stuff?
On the bones and everything else there. Yeah, roll an investigation check for me.
Does a 14 hit?
It's not a chance to hit. So on a 14, you skitter around the corpses and the bones and things as well. You don't find a lot, but you do find coin here and there, totaling up to about 25 silver. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to keep that to yourself or you want to share the love. It's entirely up to you.
Nitro can have about, let me say, 5. I mean, no. Let's make it 4.
So Nitro gets 4 silver. That's very generous. From here, you can see, I'll just bring the map up again for you folks. From the smeltering cavern, you can see that channel that runs to the northeastern part of the room. There is a passageway that leads to the east. There is the passageway that leads back to the west and to the the doorway that's there. There's a smelter cavern that leads up and through a passageway in the channel that leads north and to the east as well. What would you like to do? Where would you like to go? 21.
And where's that sound coming from? Still from the northeast?
Sounds like it's the northeast, yes.
Well, Yetnet, do you want to try and keep heading to that northeasterly type of direction?
Yep.
All right.
So you can either go northeast through the small little channel where the water comes to power the water wheel, or you can go through the passageway that is directly to the east.
I like going through where the water wheel pathway's coming. It sounds like a plan to me.
The good thing is if you make your way into that passage, you don't need to make an athletics check to dive down into that channel, and you won't need to duck, my friend, even though it's a short passage, which is fantastic. So, Yetnet, you need to follow suit. So you're going to have to go almost not quite prone to tunnel through the chamber and make your way through this little channel and see where it leads. As you make your way through the passage, being very cautious, how do you make your way through?
Stealthily.
Stealthily, with stealth, absolutely. Okay, so the noise that you've been hearing gets much, much louder as you make your way through the little tunnel, this little passageway. It's almost to the point now where it's deafening. It's getting quite loud. Boom, boom. And you can see the passageway opens out and leads to a narrow ledge that overlooks a large cavern that houses a surging, seething body of water. The rhythmic booming that you've been hearing throughout the mines is obviously a lot louder here. At regular intervals, a fresh surge of water funnels into this smaller chamber and slams against the wall, creating that boom as a splash of the water just below that ledge that you're now standing on. The echo suggests that this cave might be one arm of a much larger cavern to the northeast of this chamber.
Can you show us the map of where we are?
I will show you the map of where you are.
'Cause I
So
can't-
you are right up here. You've come through this little passageway. You're right up here, and there seems to be like a little pool of water. You can see surging waves that come through and crash against this little sort of rock formation here, and that is what's making that boom, boom, as the waves crash against the stone. And where you are here, there is a pathway that leads to the west, which leads into a small sort of crevasse that you can find your way through. There is also a pathway that leads eastward and south, although you can't see much past that south entrance here, which is this side, and there's the path that leads. Folks,
Could I make an investigation check of like if I could hear some talking far away or like some footsteps?
you can certainly try. I will say you'd be rolling with disadvantage because of the noise of the cavern that's making that
Okay.
boom.
That didn't count because it fell out.
That was cocked. Yep, sure.
That was cocked again.
Roll again. It was not.
5 again.
Yeah, no, it's that's not good. So you can't hear a lot. All you can hear is that boom. If you and Nitro engaged in conversation, you would struggle to hear each other over that boom from where you are there.
If we had,
I'll tap Yetnet on the shoulder and I'll point towards the northwest passageway and indicate that's where we should be going.
Happy with that? All right. So you follow a little fissure around the top and into the cracks of this building. Not a fish, a fissure, a crack, a crevasse,
okay.
if you will. You can see a passageway that is barely 4 feet high. So again, no problem for you, Nitro. It's obstructed by round boulders, pebbles, things like that. It might have been a stream bed once when the water level was higher, but there's no water through that passageway now. You can make your way through, but you would need to make an athletics check to make sure you can make it through, one piece of that getting scratched by the rock. Nitro, you're okay. You're going to make it through uninterrupted.
12?
Yeah, you're good. So you make your way through and you manage to squeeze and bend your way through the boulders and things to make your way into this new chamber. This chamber looks to be much more vast, much more open, and there is a sort of a wide rift. So you're now standing on a ledge looking westward. There is a rift that fills the eastern half of this cavern. A stream pours out of the wall, which is just below where you've just come in from, tumbles down into the rift and flows out again to the northern part of the chamber. There are several ropes secured on iron stakes along the western side of the ridge, leading down to the chasm floor. You are on the eastern side. If you want to make your way down, obviously it's a steep ascent and you don't discern any handholds as such if you want to make your way down there.
I'll look at Yetnet and say, do you reckon we ought to go down, or there's ropes over there? Do the ropes look pretty new?
Roll investigation.
18.
Yes, they look very new. Gundren pipes up. That looks like it's been freshly put there, like within the last day or so.
It does.
Maybe
indeed.
your other brother put it there, Gundren.
Maybe. I don't know what's happened to Nundro, but I know that we haven't ventured this far or this deep into the mine, so who knows who put it there?
Maybe if he was, what if he saw the guy who wants the magic and he tried to run away from it?
Are you talking about this spider?
Yeah.
You think Nundro's come across the black spider?
Yeah. Maybe he was traveling in the cave, and then what if the black spider's in one of the caverns?
Gundren strokes his beard, sort of deep in thought. I certainly hope not. I fear for Nundro's safety if that be the case. What shall we do? I mean, we're stuck up here on this high ledge.
Well,
how are we going to get down?
We've got a spider that can climb and someone else who has some very good boots on.
Well, I could carry you all down.
You are going to carry all of us down?
No, one at a time, so I could jump back. I could jump down, back up.
I don't mean to be rude, but did you or did you not put like some handholds and things on the spider's back?
Yes.
Is she right to carry me down?
I'll ask. Okay. Yes.
All right. So with that, you've got
But
some.
if you struggle, she'll bite you.
All right, I'll take that under advisement. Nice, Crystal. Yes, we're all friends here. And Crystal sort of settles herself as Gundren clambers up onto the back of this giant wolf spider and holds on for dear life onto the handle holds, which were meant for Blaze, but is managed to hold on quite nicely to these new handholds as well. Being a dwarf, he's a smaller individual. Crystal starts to climb down the escarpment and makes her way down to the garden, sort of the flower bed, the bed of this rock area.
I carried Drake and Nitro down, so I'm with Crystal.
You're with Crystal, you're pulling down as well?
Yeah.
Drake
Blaze can fly himself.
Oh, yeah.
So how are you picking up Nitro?
I've just got pictures in my head of like carrying the lady through the doorway. That's how.
I'll just hold him on my head and then jump down.
Okay, fantastic. So you pick up Nitro, hold him long ways.
Strength.
No, you don't need to make a strength for this fact.
'Cause he's
You pick up
tiny.
Nitro and you hold him up nice and high, and then you literally just step off the ledge. Don't even bother about trying to jump down or pick. You just literally go boop, and you float. You float down almost Mary Poppins style with Nitro as the umbrella above you, and you land just shy of the stream that's in the way. I do need you all to roll a perception check, please.
Perception. Daddy, is that my profession?
No, it's 13. Perception is this one here. So you've got no bonus. It's a straight roll.
20.
Oh my God, a natural 20.
20.
That is just ridiculous. Okay. So as you land and you narrowly avoid stepping in the water, your dragon spidey sense, for lack of a better term, now that you've got a spider, starts to tingle and your ears prick up as you hear a conversation that's taking place close by. From where you are, you can't see exactly what's happening, but you do hear a conversation up on the high part above where all the stakes and things are that's made a makeshift rope ladder. You hear a couple of voices. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, and it sounds like there's an argument between two individuals, both very gruff, both almost antagonistic of each other. In addition to this, you hear another voice, with much more authority and much more. Well, really, gentlemen, I don't really think this is a time or place to be discussing such matters. We have business to attend to. Much more authority.
Okay.
But that's all you can discern. You can discern there are three voices. They're out of sight, but they are effectively just up on the ledge above you.
Crystal, Gundren, stop.
The spider turns and hears you, stops and lowers Gundren, and Gundren jumps off, comes over, goes to step through the water.
Oh, yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Gundren.
He's fine. He's fine.
He's fine?
Yeah.
Okay, I need you. Gundren's going to have to make a. Okay. Manages to goes to step and then jumps over the water, which is very, very handy, and makes his way to you. Yetnet?
Gundren, there are voices up there.
There are what?
Voices. I heard. I think. My spidey sense, because I'm now a spider expert. I heard these gruff voices and a boss or something. Like there was a deep
boss.
Yeah, like
maybe there's people working the mines.
What does your brother talk like?
Oh, he sounds quite like me. He's a bit more of a girly kind of voice, but he sounds a bit like me. He's got my same accent. We're all brothers after all.
Okay. Yeah. So while
so you see, they're just up there.
Yeah. While I was hearing them, they said we've got business to attend to.
What do you suppose they're talking about? What sort of business do you think it'll be?
Do you think the green thing we saw was a spy for them, and they know that we're here? Because maybe that's why they disappeared. The green thing disappeared.
My gosh, I haven't thought of that. What if it was a spy? And you, Nitro, how's it? What if it had transported straight into the boss's lair and told them we were here? What if they've now seen that? And what if they've now taken out Nundro? What if he's no longer among the living?
Well, what I would say is we're playing a game of what if. We're not investigating yet. We're playing a game. We need to stop playing games, find out what's going on, and then we'll get your brother back for you.
Right.
Well, they were having an argument, and then the guy stepped in and said, "We have business to attend to."
Right.
Okay, so
Now, Matt, just for clarity, did you say it was up the rope on that ledge? That's where we heard the voices, or down here?
No, on the ledge. So where you saw the makeshift rope things have been, so they're up on the ledge out of sight. It is a higher ledge, especially for someone of your stature. You can't see who's going on, but obviously Yetnet with a natural 20 has heard the conversation taking place.
Okay.
can I hear any more of it?
With your spidey ears, as you've now called them, you hear the conversation. You can't hear the authority voice, but you can hear the grumbling still happening. It's not as audible as it was before, but you do still hear a bit of an exchange and the occasional yelp, as it sounds like they could potentially be hitting each other.
Okay, I'm going to count down. Gundren, I just heard a yelp from up there. So I don't know if they're hitting each other or...
Did someone kick a dog? Like, was it that kind of yelp, or was it a person yelp?
I don't know. It sounded like a person yelp, but I don't know. I think it might have sounded like Gundren's brother or something.
It could be, but let's do this, right? I'll climb one of these ropes, okay, because I'm pretty stealthy. I can get around a bit quicker, a bit stealthier, and I'll have a look. How does that sound?
Yes, but make sure not to get their attention.
I'll certainly try. Okay. So I'd like to climb one of the ropes and see if I can just have a bit of a peek up there, see what's going on.
Yeah, sure. So you climb up the rope. You won't need to make any checks for that because it's been well made, well put together. You will need to make a stealth check as you reach the top of the ledge.
Not an issue. That's a total of 27.
Yeah, sure. That'll definitely pass, well and truly. So you do this whole thing like one of those Foo cartoons with just the eyes appearing over the top of the ledge, and you scan left and right. And as you scan left and right, you see what looks to be two bugbears deep in conversation, deep in argument.
Yep.
They're occasionally roughing each other up a little bit for whatever reason. You can't discern what it is they're even fighting about at this point. It's literally just them mumbling and smacking each other occasionally. Off to the side, leaning up against a wall, a well-made wall at the far side of this cavern that you're now in, you see a drow that is leaning up against a wall, a male drow, and seems to be overseeing, meant to be overseeing these two bugbears. The look on the drow's face is one of despair and disgust at these two bugbears that are having their altercation. And the drow just looks absolutely fed up with this position and station that they find themselves in.
Okay. I can't see a dwarf up there tied up or anything.
No, you can see there is a passage that leads beyond, heading westward. You can see from where you are, there is what looks like the stream continues to the west. There is another passageway that leads to the southwest up a set of stairs, but that's all you can discern from this space. You do see a little bit of excavation equipment, but it's not excavation equipment in the large sense. It's not the excavation equipment is not designed for mining per se. It looks like it's more for smaller excavations, like gold panning, that sort of stuff. Things you wouldn't use in large areas, but obviously potentially these guys are looking or meant to be looking for something in this space.
Okay, no trouble.
Wait, can Nitro see the? Is it just the bugbears, or is there another guy?
And the drow.
The drow.
The dark elf.
So that must be the guy.
I'll slide back down, and I'll convey what I've seen up there, but I can't see any dwarf up there, guys. So I'm not sure.
Okay.
Where could he be? Where could he be?
So there's a bit of conflict.
Conflict.
Well, the two bugbears don't seem to like each other too much, unless it's just like that.
Bugbears never do. Bugbears never like anything.
Well, this is true.
Maybe they're brothers.
There could be, maybe, but my brothers and I used to fight quite a lot.
If they don't like each other, then if we go stealthily, and then if one of us stands in the middle, well, it would be me, of course. I'm just saying. If I stand in the middle and I push them apart, and then I stand in the middle, and then when they charge at me, I'll jump, and then they can knock heads.
I like the idea.
Out.
I love your idea. Why don't I try a spell, though? Because I might be able to make one think that the other's calling him names under his breath and vice versa, because I have a little...
like you call me snakes.
But I do that out loud on purpose. I have a spell called Thaumaturgy, which I can make it sound like there's whispers coming. So I could maybe make them think they're calling each other names under their breath, and they might start fighting.
Okay.
And I'll cast Thaumaturgy.
Yeah. Wait. He's casting it now. So you make your spell?
Just at near her ear, so it sounds like there's whispers behind her head, and it's going to sound like someone's bloody lizards. No one likes a lizard.
So you hear that Yetnet from behind you, even though Nitro's in front of you. You hear the whisper as a demonstration of what Thaumaturgy does, and you hear a whisper from behind you. Oh, that lizard's hopeless. That lizard's worthless. And you turn, but there's no one there. Because it's part of Nitro's spell. That's what Thaumaturgy does. Yeah.
This could be good.
No.
So she calms down so she doesn't go into rage with the insult. I like that. Nitro, do you want to make your way? What's the range on your Thaumaturgy?
Spells. Thaumaturgy is a 30-foot range.
Okay, so you would need to climb back up in order to use that spell.
Absolutely.
Wait, use it on both of them.
One target? Yep.
It's one target at a time.
You can use it to make an area effect noise as well if you wanted to, I think, which would affect anything within range.
Yeah, it would do, but I'd have to have two spots of where the audio is coming from, so it sounds like it's coming from two different spots.
Well, I'll let you do what you will do. And there's something you could do that potentially could affect both of them, but we'll see what happens.
Tell him.
No, I can't tell him.
Tell him, please.
Can I make an intelligence check to see if I know what you're talking about?
Yeah, go on. I'll allow
it.
That's a 13.
Okay. Shush. So you try to think about different ways you could use what you're about to do to the best advantage in this case, in terms of where to place the insult and where it will be most effective. Your course of action at the moment seems to be the best one, so you're proceeding as planned from all intents and purposes.
Yep, I'll be doing that then. So I'll climb up the rope again as quietly as humanly possible.
You're good?
Yep.
You make your way up to the ledge, and you already stealthed before, so you can do it again without being seen.
Cool. And I'll cast the Thaumaturgy with some secretive insults that sounds like it's coming from one side and the other person from the other side. And
so you watch as you cast your spell, and for a moment, there's no sort of reaction. And then one of the bugbears turns away and sort of looks to an area that's to the southern part of the cave system, and then turns back suddenly and stares at the other bugbear. Oi, what did you say to me? And the other bugbear looks back up. What are you talking about? I didn't say nothing. Bob, I heard what you said, and I don't like it. Bob turns around to this other bugbear. Dave, I tell you, I didn't say nothing or nothing. I've got nothing to say to your ugly mug. Who are you calling ugly, Bob, you stupid little bastard? And an argument starts to brew. The dark elf comes off the wall. Boys, please, can you settle it down? We've got to find the artifact and get back to the master before it's too late. Can you please pull your heads in and stop carrying on like absolute layabouts? We have work to do here. But he called me an idiot. Yeah, no, you called me an idiot. And the bugbears almost disregard the dark elf in entirety and continue to have this argument between the two of them that seems to escalate and escalate and escalate. Nitro, you watch as Bob turns to Dave. I'll have you, mate, and just bang, crunches his knuckles into the side of Dave's head. Dave's sent reeling. Unfortunately, I need you to make a dex save because Dave is stumbling backwards towards where you are on the edge of the ladder.
17.
Okay, can I just?
Okay, so you manage to duck down and jump to the one side. You slide to the side, out of sight and down out of view as this bugbear is knocked to the floor by Bob's punch. He skids. His head is now overhanging the actual edge of the ledge, and he's sort of within range of you. It's up to you if you want to do anything about that. You do hear the footfalls of the other bugbear, Bob, as he's making his way forward to potentially pick more of a fight with Dave as he's now lying prone on the ground. You hear the Dark Elf, and you hear this too, Yetnet, because now it's obviously much more escalated. Gentlemen, please, Bob, can you lay off of David? You know he's got a cranial issue here. Come on, please, let's all be careful. Let's be sensible about this, please. But it seems that this Dark Elf's pleas are falling on deaf ears at this point. And it looks like there's going to be quite the altercation. Nitro, what would you like to do?
I'm going to flag the other party members to make their way up the rope so we can potentially take them by surprise.
Yep.
Hopefully
So with Gundren, yourself, and the spider on the floor, who's climbing up after Nitro?
Me, of course, because I'm
followed by Gundren, and then
Gundren and
Crystal can make her way up anyway. She doesn't need to use the
Nitro.
stairwell.
Where's your Drake?
Drake's on my shoulder.
Okay, good.
Blaze is there.
Because if it was on the floor, the Blaze could jump on Crystal.
Fantastic. While you are making your way up and climbing the ladder, and while Gundren is making his way up and the spider is climbing up, where does Crystal climb up? Does she climb up next to the ladder, or does she climb up a different part?
So me and Gundren on the side of Nitro, Crystal's on the other side just in case there's a move, and then she'll do her web attack.
Okay, so fantastic. As you are climbing the ladder, as you are climbing up and Nitro's looking down, signaling, come up, come up, come up, and you've got Dave's head facing the ceiling of the cavern overhanging, you hear boom, boom, boom as you climb up. Bob leans over to grab Dave by the scruff of the neck and lifts him up. But as he leans forward, he stares down past Dave's head. Here, what are you lot doing down there?
Can I cast Fog Cloud?
Yes, you can.
And I want to try and do something if I can.
Lay it on me.
What?
I don't know how close I am to this bugbear. I would like to cast Fog Cloud, grab the guy who's leaning over as best I can, and yank him towards the
The one that's laying down?
No, the one that's leaning over him that just saw us.
Okay, I need you. So you cast Fog Cloud. Is there a dex save for those that are affected by the cloud? No, it's just a smoke screen.
It's just very, very hard to see in that area.
Okay, I need you then to make a strength check, please, Nitro.
I'll re-roll that one. Yeah, so strength would be a saving throw or just a strength check?
No, just a strength check.
Okay, 19.
Right, so you manage to use the velocity of Bob as he leans down forward. As he leans over, you reach up and grab the collar of this bandolier that has got tools and excavation equipment and chisels and stuff in it. And you pull forward, yanking yourself, wrapping yourself around the rope that's tethered to the rock. And you yank this bugbear off of the ledge in this fog cloud. You hear him as he stumbles forward and flies through the air like an absolute brick, crunches down into the ground. He's going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as he falls to the floor, and he's going to make a constitution save, which he passes. You hear him groan. He's not unconscious, but he's definitely taken quite a bit of a hit. In the smoke cloud, through the fog, you hear the Dark Elf. Bob? This isn't funny. We've got to get back to work. Bob? Dave mumbles to himself. There's some other bastard here. Bob just disappeared. He's flown out. Someone grabbed him. The Dark Elf starts to panic a little bit. What do you mean someone grabbed him? What do you mean? And that's when you hear, Yetnet, the click as Crystal climbs up over the escarpment right in front of the Dark Elf who's just outside of the fog cloud. And you hear a screech and a scream as Crystal starts to chase this dark elf as it tries to make its way westward through the exit. I do need you all to roll initiative, please.
That's my Crystal. 15, because I've got plus
jeez.
2.
Roll for Crystal as well, please.
We've
Nitro,
got a 9.
14.
14.
Crystal 9.
Gundren, 17 for Gundren. Gosh, he's rolling well tonight.
You mean you?
8. And...
Yeah, I'm either rolling really well or really poorly. Depends on your perspective with my rolls.
Depends on your perception.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. All right. So we have... and then we have... Where are we? All right. So that brings us to the top of the round. Our friend who is now lying face down in the dirt at the bottom of the cavern, ironically, is going to be the first to act. So you hear Nitro and Yetnet, Gundren, you hear as Bob starts to lift himself up off the floor of the cavern. He dusts himself off, pretty much using most of his movement to get up. He is on this side of the cavern, and he turns his head to look up and sees the three of you hanging there, suspended on the ladder.
What does he?
Well,
heavily obscured.
No, he can make you out. No, on a roll like that, Jesus, a 21, he can definitely see what's happening. So he he's aware of where the person that grabbed him must be, and you must have been on the ladder, and that's where he's landed in the close proximity. So he's actually used most of his movement to make his way to the base of the ladder, and he's actually going to swing his Morning Star at the ladder and the rungs that you're all now hanging onto for dear life.
Climb.
And with a 17, he is going to hit. That is going to be 2d8. 4, 7.
How much damage are you guys going to take?
8, 9. Okay, so the Morning Star swings and smashes into the side of the ladder. You feel the shake as this thing vibrates, as the connection. But while you hear a bend and a bit of a snap, the ladder holds just. And that brings us to... Who rolled the 17? That's you, Nitro, isn't it?
No, I got a 14.
Oh, sorry, Yetnet.
Gundren.
Oh, Gundren rolled the 17. That's right. My apologies. Okay. So Gundren is going to clamber up as much as he can and try and get off the ladder. He's going to make his way up. He's going to have to make an athletics check to get past. He can't get past where you are, Nitro, because you're sharing that rung, and also Dave is on top there. So he's going to sit pretty much level with you there, Nitro. He does have an opportunity to try and swing an attack at Dave, who is still on the ground. He's going to roll with a disadvantage.
No, it's with advantage, isn't it? Because he's on the ground.
He's on the ground, yes, but Gundren is hanging one-armed off a ladder at a wrong angle. As it is, 8, 9, 10... no, 14 is not going to do it. So Gundren, unfortunately, swings and misses. There's a clang of metal on metal, which does get Bob's attention, and he looks up and snaps up, and he smiles, knowing that you're very much on that ladder, which brings us to... Who rolled the 15?
I had a 14.
Yetnet, that was you.
Yes, and Crystal rolled the 9.
Correct. Go for it. Remembering that you are now at the bottom of the ladder, so you could either climb up or down.
Okay.
Bearing in mind, if you climb down, you're going to be alone with the bugbear. You could just let go and fall on Bob's head if you wanted to.
Or you could drop something on his head.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what I have in my game.
We could throw something at him.
The bugbear's eye patch won't do anything.
You've still got the eye patch, yeah.
It would be good if we were in a pirate campaign, and then I can use it.
If you're in a pirate campaign, you're not wrong.
Don't look at
All right, what would you like to do? Quick sticks? You
You
only get 6 seconds, technically. Hang on, what are you doing? You got to tell me what you're going to do first.
Handouts? Javelin?
going to throw a hand axe or a javelin?
Javelin.
Okay, so you throw the javelin. What did you roll?
A 1.
A natural 1. The javelin flies
Oh no,
well
wait, that's
wide.
a 7. That's a 7, not a 1.
That was a 1. You've knocked it.
No, I
I
didn't.
saw you roll a natural 1. The javelin flies well wide out from this fog. Bob looks up, and out of the fog, this javelin just flies well and truly almost to the other side of the cavern. You've now lost the ability to use the javelin unless you go collect it at the end of combat, if you get that far. That is your turn, unless you've got any bonus actions you want to do.
Bonus action. Only rage bonus actions.
No, you don't do that.
Go on rage.
It's up to you. You can go rage if you want to.
It's up to you. It's your call.
I do want to go into rage, but Nitro's not going to say it. I think it's Gundren's turn to say it.
See what? What are you talking about? He's right up at the top of the ladder. He can't hear you.
Oh, okay. So it has to be Nitro then.
All right. Well, it is Nitro's turn, so it's up to you if you want to make that call and yell some stuff out, or if you'd rather just get down to business. It's up to you.
What am I going to do? We're in a fog cloud. I'm at the top of the ladder, aren't I?
Yes, Gundren is right next to you on the same rung, with Dave lying on a funny angle.
Yep.
You could potentially climb up. You wouldn't be able to move away from him, potentially risking an attack of opportunity, even though he'd be rolling disadvantage. But you would potentially be able to climb up next to him without moving away to cause that attack of opportunity, which would allow you to have a straight attack roll at him.
All right, so I'm going to yell down, just get angry, you stupid thing, and I'm going to try and climb up and get next to this this bugbear, and I want to try and stab.
Yeah, so you're able to make your way up onto that ledge, and because of the fog and obscurity, you can do that without any interference, and you can make your attack roll.
And you said it's a straight roll?
Okay.
Yes, there's no disadvantage on that because you're now on level ground.
What's that? 15 plus 5. 20 to hit.
Well and truly hits. Roll damage.
That's a D6, isn't it? That's the square one. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so you go stabby McStab on Dave. You hear him scream out in pain as you stab into him. It's sort of a couple of deep blows and a couple of scratching, glancing blows, but he's definitely looking a little bit shoddy, that is for sure.
A plunge of dagger in as well?
As a second action? Yep, go for it.
Nope.
No good.
Oh.
No
Can
problem.
I get my dragon to jump down and have a bit of a bite? See if we can land a hit there?
Go for it.
Cool. Yeah, that's an 18 plus numbers.
That most definitely hits, yes. Roll damage.
So that's a D6 for him, which is a 5 plus 3. 8.
8 points of damage. Fantastic. Okay.
8 points of om-nom damage.
8 points of om-nom damage. That is now a technical term. We're going to be using that all the time.
Om-nom.
Blaze flies down and just latches on to the chest of this bugbear, starts ripping at fur, and you can see lumps of flesh, claw marks coming around on his chest as well,
Nice.
looking absolutely crazy and messy in the process. Which brings us to our dark elf, who is doing a run-up from Crystal. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, no. The dark elf is just making a beeline for that western exit and manages to find something within themselves to pick up speed, clambers into the narrow passageway as Crystal slams into the wall behind them. Crystal is not able to easily follow because it is a narrow passage, and the dark elf disappears from view and doesn't seem to return. Crystal then, without means to follow, turns her attention back towards the fight.
It's actually Crystal's turn, so.
Sorry, am I the DM or is that you now? Are you the DM?
It's Crystal's turn, isn't it?
It is Crystal's turn, smart bum. That's fine. All right, what's Crystal going to do? Because she's lost sight of this dark elf.
Wait, is the fog cloud still there?
The fog cloud is still there.
Okay. I was going to see if Crystal could see Dizzy Dave.
She can try. You would need to Roll a survival check for her to see if she can make her way through the fog.
Oh,
No,
no,
it's a
no.
straight roll. It's not going to be on your character sheet.
15.
Yeah, okay, so she can make her way through and use her spidey sense to sense out where Dave is. You can make an attack roll.
I'm going to do a poison bite.
You want to bite? Yep, so make a straight attack roll. Plus
I was
3.
gonna say, don't spiders have some sort of like sense where they can see in darkness and stuff?
Yeah, especially with a roll like that as well.
10.
10 is not going to do it. I'm sorry, not even close. So that brings us to Dave, who is lying down, getting stabbed and bitten at. He flails around a little bit as he tries to stand. He manages to use pretty much all his movement to get back on his feet. He is in the fog, so he can't really discern any sort of. I'm not sure where you are, Nitro, in the thick of all this, even though he's been stabbed from your direction. He is aware of one thing, and that is the wonderful little blaze that is gnawing at his chest, and he's going to take a swing with his Morning Star. 23, I believe, will hit.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hit.
Ouch, this is going to hurt. Okay, and it's a Morning Star, so it's 2 d8s. 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, yep, that's fine.
That's going to hurt. Okay, so with that attack, Dave, I'm assuming, does that knock Blaze free? I would imagine it would. It's quite a hit.
It depends. If he's swung this way, shouldn't it hit himself and hurt himself?
He would have swung with his hand and tried to brush off Blaze.
Right.
I know he's dim-witted, but he's not that dim-witted.
Sure. Blaze may have hit the deck. And yeah.
Yep. Okay, so he's now free of any sort of Drake that is attacking him, which brings us to the top of the round, and it is Bob's turn. Bob sees the shenanigans as best he can through the thick of it and realizes there are still some people on this ladder. He's going to take a swing and try and knock this bastard down. That is not going to do it, unfortunately. His swing just manages to lodge in the rock. Doesn't actually swing true to the actual ladder itself. Gundren is going to try and climb up the other side. So he makes his way up and manages to move around the other side of Dave. So he is standing behind Dave. So Dave, the bugbear, is in between you, Nitro, and Gundren. Gundren is going to make a swing and he tries to glance. But at that moment, Dave takes a step forward, trying to kick this dragon or this drake that's on the floor, and just manages to step out of range of Gundren, which brings us to Yetnet. Nitro on deck.
I'm in rage, am I?
You can rage if you want to.
Yeah,
Nitro did say, just because he said it doesn't mean you can rage. You have the choice. You have control over your own powers and actions.
I really want that bonus action. I'm going to do it.
All right, we're in rage once more. Yetnet goes and screams bloody murder.
Oh, and also I'm gonna step. Oh wait, is this guy still landing on the ground?
No, he's standing up now.
I can't do what I want to do.
You can make your way up there.
I wanted to stand between his neck and just punch his face, but I can't do that.
You can still try. You've got movement enough to make it there, and you've got some crazy boots that'll let you get up that ladder right quick.
Yeah.
All right, make your attack roll.
20.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
20.
All right, what? You roll your damage.
Yeah.
Your D12.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
7.
So that's 14 from your double, plus your 2 for your melee, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That is 20 points of bludgeoning damage. Yetnet just lets go of the ladder and just soars into the air with the power of her boots and comes straight down on top of Dave. Bang! Smashes down and deals a massive whopping 20 points of damage.
Have you ever had someone do 20 damage?
I've seen people do a lot more damage than that, but we'll talk about that another time. So the great axe swings true and you cleave not straight down the middle like you did with one of those ghouls. You collect him on the shoulder and you slice through, and you just see the top half of this bugbear literally just slide off in slow motion as the rest of the legs tumble forward. Blaze, who is on the floor, manages to dart out of the way just in the nick of time as the base, chest, and stomach of the bugbear falls forward. The top half slides down and slides over the side of the embankment and falls down into the chasm below. Dave is unfortunately not going to be in our next episode. Which brings us to Nitro. You're up with Crystal on deck.
Being the small, nimble person that I am, can I try and make my way to that little walkway that our drow friend has gone down?
You would be able to make your way to the front of the passageway, but you wouldn't be able to get any further than that.
Okay. I will do so with bow drawn.
Yep.
But you can't leave me Crystal and Gundren here.
Look, I think you can more than well handle yourself, let's be honest. Can you make a perception check for me, Nitro?
14.
You can see the passageway beyond leads to another doorway. There is no sign of the dark elf that was sort of there running for his life. You can see along the passageway there's a set of stairs that lead westward around a bend, and around the bend you can see flickering of torchlight, but that's as far as you can discern from your current position. And that brings us to, unless there's anything else you want to do with your Drake.
That's it. Drake.
Okay. Crystal, you're up. What does Crystal do?
Crystal is... What's Crystal?
Crystal is making her way back into the thick of the fog. She was going to try and attack Dave, but Dave is no longer with us. So she can try and move down to try and find Bob.
Yeah.
Who's at the base of the chasm. She can make her way down there without having to make a check because she's got spider legs. So she can do a bite, or she can try and ensnare him with a web. What do you want to do?
Actually, Dad, the damage that I did last time was actually from the guy on the floor because I was actually on the bottom.
No. So you jumped up and you wanted to get the guy on the floor that was rolling around the floor. That's what you said.
Yeah.
So you jumped up and finished off Dave.
I meant the guy.
Oh, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but that's too late now. That's okay. Bob's still on the floor. That's fine. Not a problem. That's okay. With Dave's taken out, Crystal can make her way down and she will be able to attack Bob. Yeah. Do you want her to attack with a bite or with a web?
Web.
All right. So that's a save for our friend. And he fails. Can you roll 1d8, please?
1d.
So Bob looks up through the fog and expecting to see someone climbing down, he sees instead this giant green wolf spider come crawling through the fog cloud down before him. And Crystal opens up her mandibles and her web and just whoosh, there's this flash of white.
Nice.
As this webbing wraps itself, fires out, jets out, and then wraps itself around Bob and starts to tighten, and he's going to take 9 points of constriction damage as well as being restrained. So he's effectively tied up at this point. That is going to bring us around to Bob's turn. He's going to try and break free. And he is not going to be able to do it. He is still restrained at this point. Gundren is going to try and climb back down and try and get in a shot at Bob because he hears Crystal make her way down. He is going to make his way down. He gets nearly to the bottom, but unfortunately he can't make the distance and can't land an attack from where he is. Yetnet, you're up with Nitro on deck.
Can I try? So I'm still in range, right?
You're still in range, and you can make your way down to the floor. You can climb down, or you can jump down because you've got some crazy boots.
Okay, so I want to jump down where Bob is.
Yep.
So just these are the and I'm here. Let's say I'm here.
Yeah, you jump down. You're next to Bob,
Yep.
so you can jump down. If you want to roll a d20, straight d20 roll for me, I'll tell you where you land. Because I know where you want to land. You want to land behind him.
12.
You're going to land not quite behind him. You'll land on his flank. Now he is restrained. But you'll land on the right-hand side of him, not behind him, but beside him instead. You still get to make an attack. Go for it.
I was aiming for that, actually.
Are you aiming? Oh, sure you were. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I wanted to actually cut his hand off with my...
You want to try and go for his hand? Roll for an attack.
To hit 17 plus 6.
That most definitely hits. Roll damage.
1d12.
And you add 6
4.
because you're in rage.
So 6. 4 plus 6. 4, 6, 8, 10, Yeah.
That's 10. Okay, so you you go for trying to cut his hand off, but because you're in rage and because you've landed at a slight odd angle, you swing, and instead of taking just his hand, you take his arm, but then some, and you actually discern his shoulder and basically remove his entire shoulder from the side of his body. Bob looks at you with absolute disbelief before slowly starting to slump over backwards. He can't fall down because he is restrained in his position by the webbing, by Yetnet. You see his eyes loll back and roll back into his head, and Bob slumps forward and isn't getting up.
Good.
You are now officially out of combat, folks.
Yay!
I would like to move my way down that hallway as quickly as I can to try and
Why?
track down that.
Call us so we can know where you are.
Do you want to make your way down to catch up, or do you want to wait for these guys?
Nope, I'm going to keep going to just try and get within range of.
Can I run up and say,
Okay.
Nitro, wait, I want to come in.
You call out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you call out to Nitro to wait.
Actually, me and Gundren both do.
You both call out. Gundren calls out, Nitro, wait, don't go in there alone. And it's quite loud and echoes around the chamber. Nitro, as you make your way forward, there is a small flight of stairs that leads up. There is a passageway that leads south and then banks west up another set of stairs. Do you proceed?
I want to try, if I can, to track where this drow's gone, whichever direction I can possibly discern.
Make a survival check for you. The passageway is all one direction. So it's all one pathway, one direction. So even though it moves south and then west, it's one passageway. There's no other.
Yeah,
so if you, in terms of survival, you see this pathway, there's evidence of travel.
Yeah, dirty 20 in total.
Okay, fantastic. So you're in a corner where you can see south and then the pathway bends back to the west. Do you want to stay where you are? Do you want to proceed and follow?
I want to try and get to, but not within like physical contact distance, but at least get an eye on where the drow is, if it's possible.
How do you approach the corner?
I'm not going to be thinking too clearly. I'll approach it quite fast.
Yep. Okay, you're around the corner, and as you look forward, you can see there is another narrow passageway that continues on for about 45 to 50 feet.
Yep.
There is a doorway on the left-hand side that looks quite heavy set. You can't, from where you are in the corner, see exactly how heavy the door is or any sort of locking mechanism from your vantage point. You can see beyond that, the passageway banks south. There's a southward opening, and there's a larger chamber even further west at the end of this passageway. You can see torchlight and flickering. Make a perception check for me.
We roll those ones. I like doing that. That is a 17 perception.
Wow, okay. As you are trying to take in your surroundings and give chase, you see in the far distance, just about to duck out of sight, the dark elf dart into the larger chamber at the far end of the corridor. You see the dark elf duck around that corner and make a hasty retreat.
Okay. Does it look like they're still running through that chamber, or still in a fast pace, or are they slowing down?
As they've turned the corner to head northward, they were at a run, yes.
Okay. Is there enough time to get a shot off at them?
In that brief moment of perception, you've seen them go around the corner. They are now out of your sight.
I'll get to that walkway heading down there, and then I'll get Blaze to duck back and get the others.
All right, so you're making your way forward while Blaze flies off.
Yeah,
back
just to
eastward.
that main walkway heading down in that direction, so I'm out of sight around the corner.
So you're now at the top of or at the base of the stairs. There's a small flight of stairs, but because of your stature, if you're at the base of the stairs, you can't be seen.
Yep,
Blaze flies back and grabs Yetnet and Gundren and Crystal and indicates there's something happening. Do you follow along?
Yes.
Okay. Leaving the corpses and the safety of the fog cloud, Yetnet, Gundren, and Crystal, who manages to sort of collapse her body to a point and walk in sideways.
She's just climbing on the wall.
To climb into this passageway. They round the corner and they catch up with you, Nitro. What would you like to do, folks?
First, I'm going to ask Nitro a few questions. Why did you leave us?
Well, I wanted to make sure, see where this thing went. The drow's through this way.
Okay. Let's just go so we can kill this guy. Make sure she doesn't tell the spider that we're here.
Point of order, it's a he. It's a dark elf. It's
How
a
do you
he.
know that that's not spider person?
I know, but
It's Marbo. It's a vibe. It's a feeling that she's just getting. That she's.
it's just like
Her spidey sense is tingling.
That's right.
spidey sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, when we get close enough, if I can get lucky enough, if your spider tries to web, I could try and shoot to ensnare it as well to try and pin it down. But like we need to make tracks now to get in touch with it.
Okay, but if this dark elf is heading to the black spider and we don't know it, if the black spider sees us, if it's there, yeah, we're with it.
So how do you proceed?
I'm going to start leading the way through that
Yep.
Up that stairway and through to where I saw the Draugo.
Yep. So your marching order is Nitro followed by. I'm assuming it's Nitro, Yetnet, Gundren, Crystal.
Nitro, Gundren, Crystal. Yetnet, Crystal.
Okay, Crystal bringing up the rear. Fantastic. You make your way forward and down the passageway. You are all preparing yourselves to take down this drow as you make your way through. You head past that locked door, and now that you've got more of a vantage point, Nitro, you can see it is quite a heavy set door. As heavy as the stone door is, that's not what piques your interest. There is a new locking mechanism that looks brand spanking new that's been installed on this door. You don't recognize this particular style of locking mechanism, and it glows with a bit of an aura about it, a bit of like a pulsing power on the lock. You proceed down the passageway and you turn the corner into this larger chamber that leads somewhat south but somewhat north. As you turn the corner, you come into a large room and you see 6 massive marble pillars cracked through age. There is a giant 9-foot tall statue of a dwarf at the far end, seated on a throne, a mighty stone warhammer across his lap. There are emeralds gleaming out of the statue's eyes. There's dust and debris everywhere all over the place. It looks like it's been relatively cleaned up. The dust and debris has been swept all to one side. There's a campsite that is set up in this space area. Some really nice luxe campsites that are in this places. There's half a dozen bedrolls, packs neatly arranged around a rough built fire pit in the center of the room, wooden tables, all sorts of other things, but no sign of the dark elf.
Well, I should have kept going, shouldn't I?
No, my fault, your fault. You probably heard us coming and then turned invisible.
I mean, it's possible.
It probably is. I spend a lot of my time out in the wild because that's where I live, and I probably hear people rushing in the wind, but they're probably invisible. So yeah.
Okay.
I need both of you to make a perception check, please.
19.
19? Your perception's a straight roll.
3.
Okay, you are very lucky. Nitros are all better than you. So as you take in your surroundings and sort of Yetnet sort of lowers her great axe, Gundren sort of sits back on his haunches a little bit. Even Crystal physically sort of relaxes, expecting something, some sort of fight, but relaxes. Even you, Nitro, even though you're at the ready, you sort of do seem to let down your guard just a touch, even though you're still trying to take in your surroundings. It's then that Blaze sort of gets your attention. Blaze is sensing something that you can't necessarily see, and you follow his gaze, and he's looking sort of wildly all around the room in front of you towards this dwarven statue at the far end of the room. As you are trying to sort of make sense of what it is that Blaze is trying to get your attention at, you see a couple of bugbears emerge from behind the statue and they make their way forward, flanking your positions, walking down the pillars, closing the distance between the two of you. As this happens, you see a flicker of a magical energy off in the distance as the drow that you've been following, the dark elf, materializes in front of you to your right hand side. You see as well even more magical energy, stronger than the last, as another dark elf, much taller, we're talking about 8 feet tall, carrying a huge black staff, materializes on the rock throne in front of you, staring down with beady black eyes at you all assembled here in front. The black staff that you see before you has at one end carved a large black spider. He frowns as he stares down at you all. Well, this is a shame. It's come to this, has it? It appears I'm going to have to deal with you all myself. And that, my friends, is where we'll finish tonight's session in spectacular fashion. The setup for what is going to be an amazing final showdown. You have found the black spider in the deeps and depths of Wave Echo Cave, surrounded and flanked by bugbears, another dark elf. You have your friends with you. You will have to use all the fortitude you can muster for what is going to be an epic showdown.
I knew it. I knew that was my
And what will be our final episode for this campaign. One way or another, it is going to come to an epic conclusion in spectacular fashion. And that, my friends. But what if you die? Who knows? Who knows? Roll well. If you roll like you did tonight, it may not be a problem.
What if we roll every roll we get natural 20s?
That would be ideal. Well and truly. We are
going
to leave it there. Well and truly, we have gone. This has been well and truly the longest we have ever spent streaming. So thank you very much for those of you watching and joining us on this adventure. Ben, as always, thank you so much, my good friend, for joining us on this epic journey, which is so close to coming to an end. It's very exciting to see what happens next time we meet. Will we go ahead next week and catch up and finish this thing off? Is that the plan?
Let's go with a yes.
I think so. Yes?
Yeah, at this stage, yes.
Thinking about how tired I'll be at the first week back at school. Thank you.
Oh, look, I think it'll be worth the wait to get through the first week of school, and at the end of the week, you get to take the fight to the black spider. Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. I will say too, there is a heap of points that have been accumulated over the course of this session. Ben, what level is Nitro on? What's his experience total?
Total. Oh, geez, where is it? I can't read
How
that.
many points are you off the next level?
5375, 6500. So that's about 1200 off.
I can tell you right now, you will probably be leveling up at the end of this session. I can tell you that right now, which will probably very much come in handy.
Yes.
I tell you what, folks, we will get back into the thick of it next week. Thank you very much to Ben. Thank you very much to all our Patreon supporters for allowing us to do all of the crazy stuff we do. And thank you very much for sticking with us and watching this crazy campaign unfold. We have been HP Gaming's Game Link doing D&D live. You have been amazing. This has been Charlotte. This wonderful individual over here has been Ben. And as always, we will see you back next week for more spectacular D&D epic content. Stay tuned, Marvel Dice Throne is coming soon, along with a couple of more unboxings of the paranormal variety, which we're excited about. And look out to soon for a poll. We're going to be asking what you would like to see next in epic fashion for some D&D live content. Until then, folks, stay fun, stay social, keep having fun, play more games. Until then, it is
Bye
for now.